This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Good, looking sharp in both crews. This is really an excellent race. St. Ignatius at that 34-35. You can hear the fans here. Loyola looking excellent as well. Here comes the Loyola Ramblers. Good, and we've got some open water there. Some open water between St. Ignatius and Loyola. We've got, maybe about a boat length open water here.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Good, looking sharp in both crews. This is really an excellent race. St. Ignatius at that 34-35. You can hear the fans here. Loyola looking excellent as well. Here comes the Loyola Ramblers. Good, and we've got some open water there. Some open water between St. Ignatius and Loyola. We've got, maybe about a boat length open water here.
.3 YouTube or Twitch. We include pre- and post-game interviews with the players.
I started in the locker room. All the boys were getting going before the game and stuff, and we kind of found a little click at the beginning of the game, so I think that's what got us going.
We also include digital live statistics, play-by-play commentary, team highlight reels, and even more than that. Go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com or search Sports Broadcast Solutions on YouTube. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. At SBS, we offer a professional broadcasting experience for the non-professional athlete. Just like the pros, we offer everything for you. Play-by-play commentary.
A no-hitter at Kane County Stadium. 15 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 error, and that's it.
Color commentary, highlight reels, recruiting videos, and much, much more. Unlike our competitors, we zoom in on the action and always have a live scoreboard with a live time code. If you're ready to have your next sporting event feel like CBS Sports, then make sure to call Sports Broadcast Solutions today. Our phone number is 330-957-7653, or you can go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede!
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the post-game show brought to you by Marion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith. But my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swam 50 breast, 50 free and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Instead of spending hundreds or thousands with all these college recruiting sites, let us put together your college highlight reel. For just a fraction of your potential college scholarship and significantly less than these recruiting services, we got this. In addition, we put together highlight reels for teams, including high school, your club team, or travel team.
My teammate gave me a great pass, and I just took it. The other team slashed me, took the opportunity, saw where the goalie was weak, and I just shot it there.
Solon, O'Connor, and Marsh back on defense, and Marsh gets a blowout. We got a breakaway, a 2-on-0, a shot, and a goal! So 3-3, the power play was officially over.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you who would like to broadcast or live stream your event, or maybe make a highlight tape but would like a sponsor to fund the event, SBS has a myriad of ways to advertise your sponsor during our broadcasts. We have commercials. We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics, and we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you that just want raw footage of your sporting event, but no play-by-play or color commentary, you just need us to live stream video from the event over the internet. We will live stream your event on YouTube on our Sports Broadcast Solutions channel. In addition, we also have a dedicated channel on YouTube for live streaming at SBS Livestream. And if you need multiple channels, we can utilize Facebook Livestream and Instagram Live on our channel as well. Options include commercials from your sponsors, professional scoreboard graphics are still available, and of course, yes, pre- and post-game interviews are available as an option if you want.
We've been working really hard this whole summer and stuff.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
Go, go, go. Unmute. No. No. Mute. Good evening, everybody. Kyle Smith alongside Bob Vilsue as Fenwick is about to host Hinsdale Central in the annual Martin Luther King Jr. Classic. Before we talk about basketball, Bob, we got to talk about what Martin Luther King Jr. means to these students, what it means to the fans, and what it means to us. First of all, what does it mean to you?
Martin Luther King Day, equality for everybody.
Absolutely. What else can you say but equality for everybody? I have a dream, and eventually his dream came true, just not that day when he said that famous speech in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, I think his dream is far from becoming reached, but that's a political thing, right? But yeah, it'll be a long time between there's equality for all races, all religions, all everything, where everybody is equal, but we're trying.
Let's talk about today's basketball game. Hinsdale Central, they're led by their center at 6'8", Tyler Thick. Meanwhile, Fenwick, they're undersized compared to the Red Devils. Their tallest center. We saw him play football, Nathaniel Marshall, getting a lot of Division I offers. Meanwhile, Marshall's got to focus on trying to defend Thick. It's a 3-inch difference between Thick and Marshall. How's that going to impact today's game?
Well, interesting you said that. I was asking what those tables over in the corner were, and it sounds like the football recruiters are here to take a look at the basketball players who are going to play football. You can determine a lot, see how athletic they are, how big they are, and they can see them up close and personal, and of course building those personal relationships with Marshall, for example. As for the undersized part, you start comparing Hinsdale Central with Fenwick, and Hinsdale Central, they're 8-10 overall, but they're a much better team than their record indicates, right? They're just 2-2 in conference. They're only averaging 53.8 points per game, right? You go to Fenwick, like you said, undersized, but they're 10-6. They're good 10-6, also 2-2 in their conference, although we think they play a little bit heavier schedule. They're only averaging 50.3 points a game. Now, Max Prep says they're averaging 26 points in the fourth quarter, but I think that's somebody who's entered all the points once in the fourth quarter. The common opponents, there's a lot of them. There's 7 of them, right? So both teams beat 5 of them, but the 2 that Fenwick beat, Naperville North and West Aurora, Hinsdale Central was unable to beat. All right, then you go further, Hinsdale Central. They just recently beat Downers North. Now, Downers North was ranked like 10th in the state. Now, is that overrated? Maybe. But nonetheless, Hinsdale Central is very good. So at first blush, I thought, well, maybe Fenwick would probably beat Hinsdale Central. But then when you see that they beat Downers North, you know that this is absolutely a pick'em game. Now, finally, it's a tale of two different styles. Hinsdale Central loves to live and die by the 3-point, and that might explain why their record is only 8-10. I think if they were to hammer the ball inside more and use the 3 a little bit more sparingly, they might score more points. That's for the coaches to decide. But watching them in the warm-ups, they like to blast away with those 3-point shots. And of course, when you're in high school, your percentage of making threes is lower than when you're in the pros, and you need 5 players that can hit those threes. Otherwise, Fenwick can pick which player they want to leave open.
What's your prediction for today's game, Parter? I'm going to pick Fenwick. They're at home. It's got to be tough in these conditions. Some of the parents, I hope not, but some of the parents, their cars might have started this morning. They're calling AAA to get the car started. We don't know if that's a factor for today's game for Hinsdale Central, but it is a little bit of a long drive from Hinsdale to Fenwick. Right down the street for these Fenwick players. I'm picking the home team 59-55 over the Red Devils.
Yeah, you and me are picking almost exactly the same. I have Fenwick had 54-50. That's my final score on that. But because it's a home game at Fenwick, you know, if they're pressing or trapping works, I think they can get even more points. But you cannot count out this Hinsdale Central team. Their height and their shooting ability. If they get hot from the 3, you know, that could easily change. I think even though we're both picking Fenwick, this is in reality probably more of a pick-em game. As for the temperature, it is freezing out, minus 10 degrees when I got in the car this morning. Yikes. Of course, none of the snow wore off the car as I was driving it.
Right. I hope that none of these parents had a battery that didn't start and they got to call AAA, but it happened to me a little bit last night, so hoping it didn't happen to these parents. But who do you think is going to be the leading field goal percentage shooter tonight for Fenwick? I'm going to go with Dominic Decree. He had 14 points per game in that Jack Tosh tournament a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't think I would pick him, not because he's not a good shooter, but because he's not an inside player. So his shots are going to come more from the outside, I think. But that's where Fenwick has to score. They need to pound the ball inside against the taller Hinsdale Central players, draw fouls, be quick, and I think press. Whether it's full court, 3/4 court, half court, 1-3-1 traps, they'll probably end up in a man for a while. But if I were Fenwick, I would rely on my quickness to try to get quick buckets that way and high percentage shots. Don't try to beat Hinsdale Central from the 3-point line.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break. Public address announcements coming up next between the Friars and the Red Devils. So why are you putting us so low? Why are we low?
What's that?
Friars against the Red Devils coming up next. Meanwhile, starting lineups from the excellent public address announcer here at Fenwick High School.
Thanks.
Camera 2 should be a fun one, partner. Our first time ever in the history of SBS implementing both the huddle camera, artificial intelligence, as well as the manual camera today.
Well, what we have to say on that is it came hot off our research and development department, where we've done it before in tests, but never live, right? So when we were talking earlier about Nathaniel Marshall, it wasn't hard to pick him out on the bench. You just had to look for the biggest, I'll say thickest guy there, and that's him. So far, it doesn't look like his football scouts are here in the corner here to watch him.
It'll be Marshall and Bazelis, and it's won by the Friars, and taking it is O'Leary. Listed as a forward on the roster. Over to Decree. He's their go-to scorer along with Cameron Hogan. Marshall will take it near the three-point line. He drives in. Spinorama off the glass and good. First basket of the game, good for the Friars.
And that's what they had to do, post him up against a littler Dylan Dell, who had to try to stop him in the paint, in the post. It's not going to stop him easily.
Will Cusack will take it.
There's a first turnover.
Friars can't fall on it. Open man, three-point shot for the Red Devils, no good.
They're going to be doing a lot of that from three-point land. If they hit, they're going to win. If they don't hit, well, it'll be the end of that game.
Decree asked for a foul, but they said he traveled. And it's going to be Red Devil basketball.
Yeah, he took that in a little bit out of control and it just, kind of tripped. And I like this, the press, man-to-man press. Normally you do that when there's a shot clock also, trying to eat up the clock, but right now they're trying to obviously press, get steals, play good defense.
Cusack over to Dell at the top of the key. They send it over to the right wing, screen. Inside, wide open man, layup is good, feeding it to Thick. All of that 6'8" frame inside, partner.
Yeah, and I was watching him. He can dunk it, although 6'8", who couldn't, right? But 6'8", he can get inside. Very, very big body to block out.
Yeah, hard to box him out. Over to Marshall. He drives in, fakes the three, screen from Marshall, baseline play, now over to Marshall. Marshall keeping his dribble. Now over to Decree. He lost it, almost a backcourt violation. Screen from Marshall, fakes the three, drives in, then back out to Hogan. His mid-range jumper, nailed it! 4-2 lead, a beautiful shot by Cameron Hogan.
Well, what I liked was the patience between Marshall, Hogan. They did not take a bad shot. Finally, Hogan was open with about a 20-footer. I think that Hinsdale Central would love to let him have that shot all day long, frankly. What they don't want to see is Fenwick getting inside on them.
Over to Banks, inside to Thick, stolen away by Marshall, leading the charge. Red Devils had numbers, ill-advised pass, Red Devils steal, double team comes, and good job for the Red Devils getting out of the corner quickly. Another ill-advised pass, some sloppy basketball right now.
Well, Marshall almost swiped that pass, and you're right about the pass from Marshall over to Decree earlier. It was just behind Decree. Decree had a head of steam, and Marshall needed a little bit more quarterback practice.
Thick saved it briefly, but he couldn't pass it over to Bazelis. Out of play, 4-2 lead.
You hit this right on the head, though. It's a little bit sloppy. Now, it's a little bit early, and both teams are absolutely pressing on defense. If I'm an offensive player, I take advantage of that, go one way, and try to draw a foul or two with the over-aggressiveness. And as the game will wear on, I think the aggressiveness will wear off just a little bit until maybe the very end.
At the three-point line. Three-point shot, no good.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shooting those early. That's what we were saying. Fenwick, you do not want to get into a three-point shooting contest with Hinsdale Central. Take it in. Use your quickness. Press, trap, like this.
Double team comes. Fenwick steals it. They get the timeout. Nope, jump ball.
They got the jump ball, right, but that's exactly what they need to do. Trap Hinsdale Central. They made the trap and then, caused the jump ball, which half the time they're going to get them and half the time they're not. That arrow goes back and forth, right?
Couple of substitutions. Deontay Meeks and Caleb Burgeon's in. For the Red Devils, Eric Cozies gets his first action of the game. Inbounds play over to the three-point line. Played right now by Cozies. Cozies drives in. Cozies switches hands. Circus shot no good. Offensive board goes away the Red Devils, and the second chance is good. Driving in, trying to get some positioning on Thick. No look pass right inside, and the foul was called just before he traveled.
Yeah, the Red Devils wanted to travel underneath the boards. I'm not sure he didn't travel, but no call. Then ended up getting tied up anyway. So we've had a couple jump balls, right, in the first couple minutes of the first period, first quarter.
Dylan Orozco into the game. Dylan Dell takes a seat.
Still a very low-scoring game, 4-4.
Bounce pass inside, and it's good by Macariola.
And here's the press I wanted to see.
Whichever team lowers the turnover is going to win. I know that's cliche to say, but turnovers are so key, especially in high school basketball.
Well, I like this trapping defense from Fenwick. They have to utilize their quickness, and it's exactly what they're doing.
Look at that
good
spin move. Off the glass and good by Vincas Bazelis. Marshall looking to check back in. Back to the three-point line. Almost stolen away. Fenwick keeps it. One-on-one now at the top. Driving in is Hogan. Lost his dribble, looks for a teammate to pass it to, and offloads it to the corner. Meeks with it. Meeks with a spinorama. Pump fake.
Oh, throws
no
it out
one
of
home.
bounds.
It was a beautiful pass to the person in the first row.
That's right. Well, they wanted the souvenir. So Marshall, they were surviving there for a little while without Marshall, giving a little bit of a breather, making sure he doesn't get a quick early foul in this game because they're going to need him as the game goes on. But he's back in the game, and we're still tied at 6-6.
Over to Cozius. Passing it over to the three-point line. Hogan defended in the lane. The shot is good by Daniel Orozco.
I like that shot. Penetrate, take a little 10-footer, relatively open. Stop shooting the threes, perhaps.
Marshall. He's defended right now by Howell. Marshall switches to his right. Marshall in the lane. Good! He's got the size of a football player, partner, but a little LeBron-esque on the drive.
Well, it's going to be really hard to stop him. There was no foul there. Howell did everything he could to stop him. Marshall has made a great shot while he was falling down. I'm just glad the ref didn't buy into a foul there. There's a backcourt violation.
Right. Partner, you played basketball. How important is it to always have your hands ready, both hands ready for a pass at all times?
Well, I think more importantly, having both your hands ready, you have to have your brain ready. You got to be expecting the pass, and you don't know where it's going to go. I mean, sometimes they bounce it, sometimes behind their back, a lob. I mean, it can go anywhere. But you always want to keep your eyes on the ball because you never know where you're going to have to receive that pass. You're taught to pass it. Here's Marshall again. You're taught to pass it in such a way that you're passing it right into the shooter's hands.
It's a good drive by Marshall, but better defense by the Red Devils.
Well, he just missed the shot, right? Ooh,
Pump
that looked
fake,
like an extra
mid-range
step
jumper,
in there, too.
Just short, can't box out. Now with it is Cozius to the three-point line. No good. That time Marshall box out.
Yeah, I don't like that three-point shot. They get an offensive rebound, take it again to the hoop. If I'm Hinsdale Central, I would try to see what I can do about getting Marshall to be over-aggressive and getting a couple fouls on him.
Over to the right wing. Marshall on his right hand. Marshall, as he's guarded closely by Howell. Macariola, who had a layup earlier. Macariola, baseline, spinorama, off the backboard, no. And Meeks gets it. Marshall.
Again, excellent patience from Fenwick not to make a bad pass. Then Marshall, of course, he's got 6 points already, I think. Yep. Or is it 8? Looks like.
Partner, looks like Thick's a little bit late on the rotation on those drives from Marshall.
I think they could rotate on time and he'd still be a load.
Look at that shot.
Yeah. Hinsdale Central lives on those.
Never a good idea to leave somebody wide open, regardless of how deep he is from downtown.
Well, yeah, that's the trick. When you're guarding a team like Hinsdale Central that has a lot of three-point shooters, you have to figure out who's got the bad form and leave that guy open. so far I don't think I'd leave this one.
Sometimes the bad form goes in. Spinorama traveling.
Well, that's the thing. If you have 1 million repetitions, right, with bad form, some are going to go in. You can have 100,000 repetitions with really good form and still not be as good of a shooter because you don't have the repetitions.
I just think of those Sean Marion threes. Remember, he would just push it at the basket. It would go in. Hey, if it works, right?
Yeah, Joakim Noah on the Bulls, right? And, that's how I felt about Alonzo Ball when he got on the Bulls. But he fixed his shooter hand after he got into the pros. He was not a good three-point shooter until then. He paid attention with his pro coaching he had. Oh, that's an extra step in there, too.
Another open shot for Orozco. That one no good. Off the side of the rim as Burgeons tries to take it coast to coast, and it's good.
I like that. They gave him the middle lane, and he took it. Nobody between him and the hoop. When that happens, you take it right to the front of the rim.
Went off the back iron and in. 12-11 game. It's a fun one thus far. Orozco to the three-point line. Open three in the corner, nails it. Eric Kosius, you bet. And remember, no shot clock, Bob. You can hold the ball if you'd like. Marshall says, actually, no, that's Decree.
Well, this is what's fun. So you got Hinsdale Central shooting a lot of threes, and Fenwick shooting twos, and we still got a tie game at 14-all.
Seems like Fenwick's had a little bit more possessions than Hinsdale. We do have live stats today. We'll let you know the stats after this quarter ends. Over to the three-point line. It was off the hands of Orozco. Driving in. It was close, partner. Did you hear forearm before you heard ball?
Yeah, I would not have made that foul call from where I sit, but, we're, 50 feet away, and the referees are 10 feet away, so maybe they saw something I didn't. Or we could say that I should have worn my glasses instead of my contacts, and I would have seen the contact.
All that matters to the nearest ref, the baseline judge. Did he hear forearm or wrist before he heard ball?
Well, they're not listening for anything. They're watching.
Right, too.
Yeah.
But if you hear a slap before ball, that also helps the call.
Yeah, sometimes I think the referees make calls based on position, kind of like in baseball rules, right? The ball makes it to the base before the runner. They always call the runner out, even if they miss the tag. I feel like that's what happened there. I didn't see a foul, but nonetheless, he's at the free throw line for two and hits them both and takes a 2-point lead as a result.
By the way, if it looks a little blurry on your screen, there is a circle icon. Click on it at the top right or bottom right. Macchiarola is fouled. He'll go to the line for two.
No, I think they're going to say he was on the ground when the foul happened. This should be taken out on the side. He was not shooting.
Oh, boy, I don't know. I thought he was in the act of shooting when he got hacked.
Yeah, I think the referee was pretty clear and adamant that he was fouled before he went up for the shot. But if you ever get hit in basketball, instantly aim your shot, see if you can get that into a shooting foul.
The problem is in high school, no continuation. Bounce pass. How about that on the circus shot?
A buzzer basket in the first quarter to tie the score at 16-all. So after the first quarter, we have a tie game. Hinsdale Central, almost all of their shots are from behind the arc, just as we suspected. And Fenwick, I think they've taken one three-point shot, perhaps.
We'll take a break. More basketball action coming up next here on SBS. Mute first, no mute.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
.16 tie. Kyle Smith alongside Bob Vilsue. Appreciate everybody watching on YouTube. Live stats powered by our interns today. And then later on in the season, partner, we're going to have Stat Crew with some paid personnel. Meanwhile, Hinsdale Central with it. 8-minute quarters. And good job on Decree on defense. He had that buzzer beater to tie it up at 16. Air ball. But there's Marshall again. Marshall with the board. Marshall in the lane. Friendly roll. Nathaniel Marshall again.
This time he posted up a little, or Will Cusack, and it's just, you can't stop the guy. He's just too big and strong for you. But let him get the offensive rebound, then nobody can stop him at that point to take a 2-point lead.
Right now,
Marshall did a
Hinsdale
great job.
Central with it off the glass and good by Vinkas Bacelis.
Yeah, that Bacelis is a load himself. Scored against Marshall on that play, on that turnaround. Marshall thought he played great defense to cut off the drive, but it was an easy basket after that. Tied the scoring up at 18-18.
Bounce pass to Marshall. Macchierola. And out of bounds.
One. Just threw it out of bounds again. The first row has had a few basketballs today.
Partner, it's a long basketball game, but sometimes every possession matters, and these turnovers you think are going to eventually bite Fenwick in the butt.
Like that. It's a turnover.
Well, that time it's Hinsdale Central, but you're right. One of these times, these turnovers by either team is going to hurt them, especially in a close game like this.
Well, they're clearly making way too many turnovers, and that explains why both teams have some losses. Both teams have a lot of talent. I think if they calm down on the turnovers, suddenly the wins are going to be nothing but wins.
So they pass it to Makai Manley off the bench. And Nathaniel Marshall guarded one-on-one. Marshall pump fake, the up and under move, no. Ooh, I don't know about that, Bob. I think it was a bailout call. Looked like Marshall was away from the ball, but Fenwick gets the benefit of the call, and foul called against the Red Devils.
Yeah, I feel like he called the foul on the rebound, not on the shot, but yet it's, yeah, they're taking it out from under. So I think it was a push on the rebound, not a foul on the shot, and that's hence the foul. That's kind of what I thought I saw also.
Dylan Dell with a foul.
Yeah, Tyler Thick was the big guy in the middle there that kind of did the pushing.
You talked about three-point shooting, partner. It's Orozco and Kozias who have made the threes thus far. Circus shot.
Yeah, see, I'm not a fan of that call either. I'm not sure there was a foul. It was one of those, you're out of control, you shoot, you land on the ground. You kind of force the referee to have to make that call. And I'm not sure I saw the actual contact, but again, same thing. We're over here, and the referees are 5 feet away from it. But 18-18, so Marshall has a chance to break that tie. He's doing everything he can. I like the way he's aggressive under the basket, and his football team coaches who are trying to recruit him are at the bench now, so they're going to get a good view of him.
Two fouls committed by Hinsdale Central, none by the Friars. Both teams each with 5 timeouts. Bounce pass, kind of a half-court trap by the Friars.
And it worked, they threw it away. See, that's what I want to see more of. I want to see Fenwick do more of that trapping like that. Get those turnovers. Last couple times down, they've gotten turnovers.
For people that love basketball but aren't that familiar with the game, partner, when the half-court trap happens, what is open? Usually the baseline, right?
Well, what you try to do, and that was a zone press, it looked to me like. It looked like a 2-2-1, three-quarter court zone press. What you're trying to do on offense is break the press, pass the ball twice. Usually teams will take the press off after you pass the ball twice. What you're trying to do is get the ball into the middle, and then if you can get down into the corner on one side, you can turn it over to the other and get a layup.
Oh boy, Marshall, you got to hit that one, buddy. He got the inside positioning, just couldn't get the friendly roll.
Just missed it, another turnover.
Ill-advised pass, 2-on-2 now for Fenwick. Breaks through the D, and it's good by Cameron Hogan.
Same thing, went right down the middle. They gave him that lane. He took the ball right to the front of the rim and made the layup. Now a 3-point lead.
Timeout called by Nick Latore. We'll take a timeout as well. It's Friars 21, Red Devils 18 here on SBS. No.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Good, looking sharp in both crews. This is really an excellent race. St. Ignatius at that 34-35. You can hear the fans here. Loyola looking excellent as well. Here comes the Loyola Ramblers. Good. And we've got some open water there. Some open water between St. Ignatius and
21-18 score. Fenwick on top. Hinsdale Central's played well, partner, but the turnovers are killing them right now.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's the quickness we talked about. And I like what they're doing, though. The Fenwick, who has the quickness over Hinsdale Central, which keeps them away from the basket and makes turnovers. That's what Fenwick needs, more possessions. So I would continue to press. And so far from what I'm seeing, they're changing up the press. A couple of times it's man-to-man. That last time it was a zone press. Hinsdale Central, they want to take the ball up quickly, and I think they'd be better off to take it a little bit more deliberate. And like you said, put the 2 passes, the first one into the middle of the court and the second one down court. Sometimes when you press, like here we got a 1-2-2 full court press. Maybe it's 1-2-1-1, depending on perspective. Don't let him get around you on the sideline. That could have been a foul on Marshall.
Good job dribbling through that by Orozco. On the baseline. Oh! Couldn't finish the dunk. Pretty good contest too, Bob.
Yeah, I don't think I would have taken the dunk from there and just make the layup. But what a stud.
Dominic Decree got rim blocked at Hinsdale Central. Driving in, got the separation he wanted. Meanwhile, 3-point shot off the back iron. Fenwick boxes out well. Macchiarola takes it.
And that's what's going to happen on those 3-point shots. You got to get the long rebounds as well. So when the other team is shooting threes, you have to box out down low as well as look for long rebounds. And that's what Fenwick did. A lob to Marshall.
Mid-range jumper, no. And Decree gets it. Decree.
That's just flat out good hustle to get it.
Looked like he had an open shot, partner. Decree can make those. He's all conference Jack Tosh tourney. Maybe be more aggressive and pull the trigger next time.
Well, I like that when you get the ball back on an offensive rebound, have some patience. Some players feel like if they get the offensive rebound, it's their God-given right to turn around and jack it back up again for a shot, and they're better off to rerun your offense. What a killer screen there from Marshall.
Hinsdale Central was angrily asking for a moving screen. They didn't call it. Meanwhile, Central got the ball back anyways.
Yeah, Marshall's ready for the Golden State Warriors on that screen, right?
They drop it off to the corner. And then back over to the wing at the top of the key now. A lot of passing action. Spinorama. Help comes on D. They reset at the top. Orozco. Now over to Bazelis. Bazelis almost lost it. Somehow Hinsdale got it back. Off the backboard. No. And rebounded by Fenwick. Decree. Bounce pass to Marshall.
Just like we said early in the game, this is going to be an absolute war. Oh, there's going to be a foul. Yep. That's what you do. You get under the hoop, you blink, you get the defender to jump past you, in this case Howell, and then you jump right into him and you get the foul. You're at the line, 2 free throws.
Not bad defense from Howell. He tried to go straight up with it, but he might have leaned in a little bit with the forearm. That's what the ref saw.
Exactly right. Usually when you get up into the air, even if the offensive person goes into you, once you're not on the ground any longer, the foul is going to be against you. The NBA has caused some rule changes in there, especially with some of the talented offensive guards. They fake you up into the air and then lean into you on the shot, and then they call the defender on the foul.
So what has Marshall done defensively to make things trouble and problematic for Tyler Thick?
Well, he's the rim protection, right? They're playing a 2-3. It's almost a matchup zone, but it's not. It's a 2-3 zone, very aggressive 2-3 zone. And Marshall, who is not in the game anymore, sorry, is the rim protector underneath the hoop.
Good pass over to Orozco. 21-20 game now. Over to Deontay Meeks. Meeks plays it. In terms of 2-point shooting, they're 9 of 10 according to our intern. That shot is good. Macchiarola with a tray.
One of the rare 3-point shots from Fenwick, and it went in.
Decree is 0 of 2 from 3. Meanwhile, Hinsdale answers. And a timeout called from head coach David Ferguson. We'll take a timeout as well. Friars against the Red Devils here on SBS. No, mute.
These are all promises. Every piece in every box on every pallet. Promises. They fill every square inch and ride on every mile. Over mountains, oceans, borders, rain, sleet, snow. Beneath it all is our promise. Because we know that when we deliver on our promise, this
Gotta be faster. 24-22. With it right now is Meeks. Hogan. Now back over to Meeks. O'Leary. Hogan on his right hand. Drops it off to Hosty. Hosty on his left over to Macchiarola as he was guarded by Orozco. Sending it over to the three-point line. One-on-one on the low block. Turnaround Jay. No. Somehow got that board, loose ball, and then picked up again by Bazelis.
I like the patience on offense, but I didn't like the ultimate shot. Kind of a hook shot from about, 5 or 6 feet away. It just didn't go in, but I think I'd rather get a layup on that. Take your time.
It's the close game we thought it was going to be. Look at that spin move. Off the window and good by Eric Kozius. Michael Hall, 6'6". They've got the size and Thick and Howell. Can they get it to him, though, on the low block? Macchiarola, the triple, air ball. Maybe that's why he was open. And triple subs into the game now. It'll be Dominic Decree, Caleb Burgins, and Nathaniel Marshall.
This time man-to-man press. Tie score with about a minute to go now in the half.
Out to the three-point line.
Marshall did a great job.
Meeks.
Yeah, Marshall did a great job on defense. No matter which way the player went on Hinsdale Central, he gets in front of him first. So you can't drive on Marshall, not easily. Surprised there's no call in there.
Nice spinorama off the window and good. Great job by Bazelis.
Yeah, he's quite a player.
Vinkas Bazelis, 6'4" guard. He's a junior.
Yeah, Marshall's doing his best to guard him. But that spin move, Marshall just couldn't stay with.
Can't finish the three-point play as Hosty boxes out.
You know, no 1 point matters that much, right? At the same time, it would have been a 3-point lead instead of a 2-point lead, so Fenwick can tie it with a 2-pointer here.
Three-point shot.
There
Got
it
it!
goes.
Big-time shot by Dupree. Back and forth we go. Hinsdale does not have to rush. No shot clock, obviously. Over to Cusack. Drop-off pass to Orozco. And then back over to the top to Orozco. Guarded by Meeks. Howell couldn't set the screen. Bazelis, wide open tray. Cusack nails it. Wide open is Marshall at the buzzer. No.
Oh.
He might.
So the Hinsdale Central shot goes in with 3.6 seconds to go to take the 2-point lead. Marshall had about a second and a tenth to get that shot off and rushed it and then missed the layup.
Right, you'd maybe like to see him do that little bunny or that little Michael Jordan underhand.
Well, he figured there wasn't enough time left on the clock, so he tried to get it out of his hands to beat the buzzer. But I think at the end of the day, you have to make sure it goes in the hoop and then worry about if you beat the buzzer or not after that.
Right.
But what a game. We got an absolute barn burner going on here. 29-27, two evenly matched teams, just like we figured.
It looks like Fenwick's a little bit better at driving in the lane, but the passing from Hinsdale is a little bit better, especially the last 5 minutes.
Well, there's two things to look at. One of them was the three-point shooting of both teams, right? So we're looking at the Fenwick side. They're shooting 50% from three. They've taken only 4 shots, but 2 went in, right? Then you look at the Hinsdale Central side, right? They're shooting a 50% from the threes as well. When I looked last time, it was 40% and went up to 50%. So they're shooting 50% from threes as well. So both teams are really, really hot from the three, territory. We're logging a lot of turnovers though, and that's kind of the difference in the game, I'd have to say. We got 7 turnovers on Hinsdale Central. It looks like 6 turnovers against Fenwick. And that 1 turnover, it's a 2-point game. It kind of could be called the difference in the game.
So we're going to take a break. More basketball action coming up next on Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Good, looking sharp in both crews. This is really an excellent race. St. Ignatius at that 34-35. You can hear the fans here. Loyola looking excellent as well. Here comes the Loyola Ramblers. Good. Good, and we've got some open water there. Some open water between St. Ignatius and Loyola. We've got, maybe about a boat length open water here.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
No. Well, if you want to go higher. Good evening. No, you don't want to. Good afternoon, everybody. Kyle Smith alongside Bob Bilsaway as the Fenwick Friars down by 2 to Hinsdale Central. A late 3 just before the half ended is where we stand right now. Leading point getters. That's brought to you by Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. For the Fenwick Friars, 4 of 9 from the field for Nathaniel Marshall. He's shooting 44%. For Hinsdale Central, in terms of their shooting, Vinkas Bazelis has been fabulous. He's 5 of 6 from the field. In terms of three-point shooting, Daniel Orozco has made one, as has Will Cusack and Eric Kozias. So it's like you said coming into this broadcast, Bob, they like to shoot a lot of threes, and the stats prove it today.
Well, and what I'd like to see from Hinsdale Central, though, is post Buzelis down low a lot more. He's got the moves, and he is 5 of 6 shooting, and all from about 5 feet away from the hoop. And Marshall is having a tough time guarding him. As big as Marshall is, as strong as he is, this Buzelis has the moves. So the rest of the scoring is coming where you think it is, where he should have come from. Dupree has got 7 points, I think it is, for Fenwick. And then Orozco has 9 points for Hinsdale Central. So it's a very, very good close game, and both teams are actually bringing their best with the right scorers. I do like Fenwick's chances to win if they keep this press going, but also I like Hinsdale Central's chances to win if they get the ball down low to Buzelis.
Meanwhile, for Fenwick, they like to do a lot of spinorama moves from the top of the key, one pass to the wing, and a nice little spin to the lane to get that shot off the window. They've been a little bit successful with it. Other times, out of control, travelings, or turnovers.
Well, you hit it on the head. 7 turnovers for Hinsdale Central, 6 for Fenwick, and that's the game. I mean, both teams, they're not real happy with those turnover figures. If it keeps up at that pace, both teams are going to have double figures in turnovers. And turnovers, that's what leads to points. We saw Fenwick drive the lane a couple of times. It went to the front of the rim that we talked about. Those are both on turnover situations. So you just got to not turn the ball over, play a little bit more control. Fenwick started out with a little bit more patience on offense than I think that they ended with. So I think Fenwick has to go back to being a little bit more patient on offense. And I think same thing with Hinsdale Central, be a little bit more patient and drop it down low and see what Buzelis can do there.
10 points for Buzelis, 9 for Orozco. Meanwhile, for Fenwick, Marshall with 9, and with 7 is Dominic Decree. They got to get Decree going because Macchiola has struggled a little bit. He's 0 of 3 from the field.
Well, and that's the thing. Hinsdale Central plays very solid defense, fundamental defense. So Decree isn't able to drive the lane like I think he might normally be able to drive more often. Now, what you do to allow that to happen is you try to set a pick or a screen somewhere and give him a room to go down the lane. Then he can dish off to Marshall and score that way. So there's other ways to score, but can't exactly say Decree's having a bad game with the 7 points through the first half either. It's just a very, very good game between two very good teams. Obviously Fenwick at 10-6, it's got a decently strong record, right? But 8-10, like we said before the game, Hinsdale Central is a very strong 8-10 team.
Partner, unless Hinsdale Central can keep up this three-point shooting, I still think Fenwick's going to win this one. But Fenwick, man, they got to avoid the turnovers. I'd like to see a little bit more creativity on offense, too. I know they like to do that spin move, drive into the lane, but Hinsdale Central sees that. They're on their rotations now. Maybe do that a couple more times, but then kick it out for an open mid-range shot and be more aggressive with the mid-range jumpers.
Yeah, I don't know. At Fenwick, mid-range jumper, I think I'd rather have that than the three-pointer for sure. But I think they can still get a lot of points down low, especially with Marshall or with Dupree driving. But I think the offense needs to be generated from the defense, continue to try to get those turnovers, continue to press, make it hard on Hinsdale Central to get the ball down low themselves, and certainly keep the ball out of Buzelis' hands if they can, if you're Fenwick.
Hinsdale Central, they like to shoot threes. Daniel Orozco made 4 threes, had a team-high 18 points in that loss over Downers Grove North earlier in the year.
Yeah, and I saw all of them on huddle. They do like to shoot from there. And here's one for Fenwick. That's not in.
That's not Fenwick's game. They can shoot them, but they're not Hinsdale Central in terms of three-point shooting.
Yeah, Dupree needs to drive it.
This would be a big basket for the Red Devils, get it back to a 2-possession lead.
Well, and for now, Fenwick switched out of that 2-3 defense into a man. So I guess they're not satisfied being down by 2 points at half. Sometimes, depending on if the other team scores a basket or not, determines what defense you're in.
Tough shot, couldn't get it to go by Tyler Thick. He's been pretty quiet offensively tonight.
Well, he's got a tough couple of customers on Fenwick down low. On that one, the ball got partially blocked, but it didn't hit it out of his hands, so that took the strength away from the shot, and that's why he pulled it up short.
Kicking it out to the wing. Cusack plays it. Double team in the lane, and the points in the paint by Tyler Thick.
I think that's what both teams need to do. Push it down low. Avoid the threes. Although Hinsdale Central, that's part of their DNA.
Dropping it off over to Macchiarola. Marshall will take it himself. Marshall from downtown, got it.
Now that's that mid-range jumper you were talking about. If Marshall's got the touch, look out.
Marshall now with a team-high 12, make it a game-high 12. Pump fake.
Yeah, you want to keep him Buzelis away from the rim.
Orozco. Turnaround jumper, it's good.
He's a hot shooter. Up to 11 points, we think.
11 for him, and
yeah, he's
10
3 for 4 from the 2-point land. Now we're going to get a 3-point play coming here.
Nice drive by Marshall, but Tyler Thick's got to be better. He's got the size advantage on him. Just go straight up and try to block that shot.
Oh, no, he doesn't have the size advantage on him. It's Marshall's a football player. He's got the size advantage on him. Just a couple inches shorter, though. And then, my guess, he's got a few pounds on the bench strength. Marshall's an absolute load. The football scouts are gone. So they showed up for about 5 or 10 minutes, watched, and then moved on. They're probably standing up and watching instead of sitting at their designated table.
He's got a great wingspan.
This Marshall is a load underneath. And a good shooter.
Problem is Fenwick's having trouble getting back on defense.
Well, again, they're pressing.
Missed it, but I like the aggression in transition there.
Yeah, our Hinsdale Central, though, that was another 3-point shot that they didn't make. It's a fun game, though. You got different contrasting styles. You got Fenwick pressing and getting it to Marshall down low, right? And then you got Hinsdale Central not pressing and taking threes. And yet here we are, contrasting styles, a tie game, 33-all.
Contested shot, but it's good by Dylan Orozco. Caleb Burgeons will check back in for the Friars. Marshall off the screen from Macchiarola. Marshall did not have the friendly touch that time.
Yeah, he's pressing a little bit.
Orozco boxed out for the board. Vincas Buzelis to Orozco. And his jumper no good, but it's last touch by the Friars. Caleb Burgeons will check in for Macchiarola. Just not Macchiarola's day thus far. It happens, partner. I always think of Game 7 with John Starks for the Knicks. That shot just barely hit rim.
Well, if I remember the Game 7 you're talking about, there was kind of a good player on the other side of the team on that game. John Starks was against Jordan in that game.
No. That was Game 7
year?
against the Rockets.
Okay.
In the NBA Finals.
All right.
I mean, there were Hall of Famers. Hakeem Olajuwon for the Rockets. And if you remember, the Rockets could have drafted Michael Jordan instead of Hakeem Olajuwon, as could the Portland Trailblazers, but they thought Sam Bowie would have been a better player than Michael Jordan.
Yeah, with the Bulls' luck, if Jordan was drafted first, the Bulls would have taken Bowie.
Nathaniel Marshall with it. He's guarded by Howell. Bounce pass to Decree. Decree, the jumper off the backboard and good. Hey, it's Martin Luther King Day, but maybe the bank is open after all.
Oh, my goodness.
We're all knotted up at 35.
I think he called bank, though, so that counts.
Left-handed drive. Oh, wasn't that beautiful?
Now, the refs could have called a foul on that drive, but I'm glad they didn't. You let them play to a point, right, until the fouls are, a little more egregious. We'll say that. Now, they're letting Marshall bring the ball up, which I'm a little bit surprised of. They're counting on him to do a lot, up high and down low now.
Dropping it off to Hogan. Now over to Decree. He lost it. Hinsdale looking to push. They've got numbers, and now they'll slow it down.
Fenwick did a great job getting back on that.
Orozco. Good job of Orozco not shooting that. He was not under control. Red Devils want a foul. Nothing called.
Well,
and getting in the way of that passing lane.
And 2 consecutive turnovers, 1 on each team.
And did they call a foul? They did.
Yeah, and the defense. Yeah, Bruce Ellis is just hard to stop.
More substitutions. Deontay Meeks and Jack O'Leary.
This is tough, taking Marshall out. This time you're down by 2, not up by 2, so Hinsdale Central could break it open. A couple of baskets in a row.
Driving in. Good D, but he got the wrist.
Yeah, instead of the ball. I didn't like that he gave him the baseline on that play. You want to force people over the top, because if you give them the baseline, you don't get weak side help. If you force them over the top, you've got the other side that can jump in and help you out on defense. So, but he was taking away his left hand also. Why? Because he's a left-handed player.
Each team now with 2 fouls this half.
Now the good thing is on the bench, Marshall is getting a breather, and not a whole lot of clock time is going by.
Second one's good, that time by Kozius.
So this is where you say it's a 1-possession game, even though it's 3 points.
Deontay Meeks, he's got the great hair. Now he's got to show it with the great shooting.
I like this half-court trap, though. It's 1-3-1 half-court trap. They haven't seen, Hinsdale Central hasn't shown this yet this game.
Meeks just 5'6".
Yeah, but he shouldn't be dribbling through it.
Drive. Red Devils read it all the way. This time, Decree, no. Jump ball. That was a quick jump ball, Bob.
I like the call, though. Otherwise, you get into a great big wrestling match. I don't like that Fenwick's going to try to dribble through the 1-3-1 half-court trap, though. What I would try to do is pass it. You want to get it into the middle and down low in the corners and cause 2-on-1s underneath the basket.
Assistant coach for the Friars, P.J. Jones, did not like the quick jump ball call. And you could make the argument that it was very quick.
It was quick, for sure, but I do like the call.
I guess devil's advocate, when you wait too long to call the jump ball, injuries or something else can happen.
Well, somebody will get fouled on it. Like there's a reach in, the other guy got hit in the head. I mean, it's a very aggressive game. Here we go, good steal.
Yeah,
Let's see what happens here.
Help comes. Marshall, oh, what a play by Vinkas Bazelis. So far part of the SBS player of the game.
I think that was a foul from behind by Bazelis. I think when you go replay this later.
Yeah, we got it on YouTube. I'm going to watch it right now.
Marshall got.
I thought that Marshall leaned into him, so if it was going to be any kind of foul, it would be offensive.
Oh, gosh, no.
But usually you don't call an offensive foul on a drive like that.
Yeah, no. This is clearly a foul on Bazelis, and that's why Marshall's hurting, because he got knocked into the almost the first row of the bleachers.
But did he foul because he's leaning into Bazelis and causing his own injury? That's what the ref has to decipher.
In any event, Marshall is going to recover, and Fenwick has the ball underneath. It looks like Hinsdale Central is staying in that 1-3-1. Usually that's not the defense you use on an inbounds ball under the hoop, but that's what they're in. So have patience, work it down low. Bazelis is out top, so he's not going to get the rebounds if you miss. Turn it over to the other side.
Meeks with it.
Into the
Open
corner.
three. No. Rebounded by Orozco. Orozco looking to go coast to coast. Orozco fouled.
And of course, he's wondering how did he get called for a foul when he thought he had all ball and the player fell down. So we have the referees letting them play for a while, even let that play under the other hoop.
Very rarely are you going to call all ball when you come from behind like that and the guy falls down to the gym.
Nobody's saying it's not the right call. We're just saying that Fenwick didn't like it.
Well, you can always argue. That's part of the game, right? Gamesmanship. You can always argue your case. But the ref can say, you dumb, you did it from behind. And what, you think I'm really going to call an all-ball block on that?
Well, but this 1-3-1 trap is definitely confusing Fenwick. We'll see how they approach it next time.
He's got a nice touch, doesn't he, Dylan Orozco at the charity stripe?
Oh, he's got a nice touch all over the court.
Marshall with 15, but the problem is Orozco and Bazelis creating problems for the Friars. Marshall, loose ball, still in play. Marshall somehow saves it. Trap comes, and David Ferguson able to get the timeout.
Now the question is, what does Fenwick practice? When they practice in practice, do they practice against the 1-3-1 defense? And if so, they need to institute their offense to beat that.
We'll take a timeout as well. You're watching the Friars against the Red Devils here on SBS.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
Three timeouts called by Fenwick, 4 remaining for the Red Devils. As Monley passes it to Dominic Decree.
Yeah, predictably, Hinsdale Central stayed in their 1-3-1. Fenwick is confused and then shot a ball from almost the next zip code, missed it. So this defense is what is allowing Hinsdale Central to extend the lead all the way to 5 points in this very, very close game.
That's just barely at rim. Fenwick's got numbers, 3-on-2 now. If they hurry, Decree almost lost it. Double team comes, Degree baseline drive. Marshall, the open triple, got it!
This Marshall is versatile.
Are you sure football's his best sport, Bob?
Yeah, you know what? That's a great question right there.
Man, did the Friars need that. But can they stop Bazelis and Orozco? That's the question.
Oh.
Man, nice pump fake. And shot no good.
Yeah, I didn't like that jump from Marshall. All Bazelis had to do is just take one quick dribble to the right, and he's going to be clobbered, put the ball up, and you got 3 free throws.
Right.
So here he drove it to the hoop, now he's got 2.
And that's the issue with no continuation. It's got to be an exact shooting foul for the ref to call it. If you're not up in the air as Marshall hits you, they're just going to call it on the floor.
Well, I'm thinking Bazelis maybe didn't want to have his get tackled by Marshall of all people. Anyway, so he missed the first one.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that also didn't like being tackled by Marshall this year,
That's right.
too.
Well, for Fenwick to win this game, they're going to have to solve that 1-3-1. I think the solution is in putting Marshall down low against the smaller guy underneath the hoop rather than up high against the taller Bazelis.
What a break for the Friars. Bazelis missed both shots.
Yeah. Orozco is underneath on defense on the 1-3-1. And now they're trying to force it to Marshall in the middle, which is the strength of the defense. Swing it around, get it down low.
If I'm Meeks, I'd be more aggressive. He's had some chances for a pull-up jumper.
Well, they tried a couple long threes, and that didn't work. Here we go.
Open three for Macchiarola. Got it!
Well. The three from the corner, the 1 for 2 right there in the last 3 possessions. Well, 2 for 3 last 3 possessions.
Macchiarola now with 8, Marshall with 18.
That's 6 points from the corner down low against that 1-3-1 to take a 1-point lead.
The southpaw shooter gets it to go. Michael Howell, hey partner, who says power forwards can't shoot?
I was thinking while he shot it, that's a terrific shot from Fenwick's perspective, and it goes in.
This shot is good.
And that goes in.
Frankie Hosty nails it. And just like that, the Friars have the lead. 44-43 as we go to break here on SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
Back to the action. Kyle Smith along with Bob Vilsue. Don't go anywhere. We got more basketball action coming up next here on SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Yeah.
Post-game show coming up next. And Bob, if you don't know about SBS, what exactly is it?
If you don't know about SBS?
People that are watching it that
Sports Broadcast Solutions, yeah, right. We'll do games for basketball, baseball, high school, adults, all kinds of sports. We did rowing, done boxing, announcers, statistics, nice score banners.
Macchiarola over to Marshall. Marshall, open tray for Watts. Ugh, no good. Was it last touch by the Red Devils? It was. Good idea by Bazelis, just a bad break against the Red Devils. And also, partner, Red Devils have to know they have more timeouts than Fenwick, so when they get into these bad spots like that, and you have possession, try to call the quick timeout if you can.
Well, you're trained to do exactly what you did, and you throw it off the body of the Fenwick player. But what the Fenwick player is saying is to hit him inbounds and then hit Bucelis out of bounds again one more time. But Bucelis says, no, it didn't hit me one more time.
Macchiarola.
So the referee bought the Fenwick story on that one. We'd have to play it back to see if it did indeed hit Bucelis. But whatever, it's Fenwick's ball up by 1.
Marshall. Back out to Hosty. Hosty lost it.
Quick hands, another turnover. That's been the Fenwick story. In the third quarter, they had 5 turnovers against them. Only 1 turnover against Hinsdale Central in that third quarter. And that's how the game changed a little bit in its complexion. But Fenwick still up by 1. Hinsdale Central with the ball. Marshall with the big weak side board.
Hogan with it. Now over to Hosty as he's guarded by Bazelis. Meeks.
Now Hinsdale Central got out of the 1-3-1 half-court trap, which was very confusing to Fenwick. Marshall holding the ball out high, waiting.
Hogan, shot fake. Over to Meeks. Meeks, couple of crossovers. Marshall, shot fake. Marshall in the paint, almost lost it. Macchiarola for 3, got it! Macchiarola's heating up, Bob. And head coach Nick Latore doesn't like what he sees. We'll stick with the action. 47-43, what a big 3 from Macchiarola, back to a two-score game.
Right, now he's up to 11 points. You were saying he was having a rough game earlier. This is not a rough game for him, 11 points. Leading scorer Marshall with 18, Macarola with 11.
These are all promises. Every piece in every box on every pallet. Promises. They fill every square inch and ride on every mile. Over mountains, oceans, borders, rain, sleet, snow. Beneath it all is our promise.
Inbounds play for Hinsdale Central. Guarded by Decree. Orozco. With the now is Bazelis. Bazelis, the mid-range jumper. It's good. Vinkos Bazelis, #1 enemy in Oak Park right now.
Well, they put Hogan on him on defense, and he still scored. I mean, I like the idea of switching from Marshall to Hogan just for maybe for a possession or two.
Good D by Thick.
Marshall underneath trying to force it and basically got blocked.
Yeah, I wouldn't force it, partner, now that his teammates are shooting so well from deep. That's a travel. Oh, boy. Oh, my goodness. Well, break for Fenwick. They missed the shot, but partner, that's as blatant as a travel you're going to see. And that's why centers aren't necessarily known as dribblers. Macchiarola drops it off to Decree. Meeks somehow got it back. Meeks driving in. Meeks, he's fouled.
Yeah, he's going to get to the free throw line.
Right.
Again, out of control with almost no chance to make that shot, but he went right into the chest of the defender and caused the contact, and he's at the free throw line as a result.
Right into Bazelis, and that's what I want Meeks to do more. He's got the opportunity to drive in, do a pull-up jumper, or try to get to the free throw line.
Well, he did what he's supposed to do. Just like you said, he drove the lane, accepted the contact. Now he's at the free throw line. Now, he could have dished it off to somebody if somebody was there, but in this case, he had the foul in front of him.
I'd like to see him do that a little bit more often.
Well, maybe that's why he doesn't. It's a well-attended game here. We got the cheerleaders, pom-pom squad maybe, and then, of course, it's almost entirely filled. And if you look at the crowd behind Meeks shooting, North Central doesn't want him to make it.
Partner, how do you stay in a game like this where you're up 3, then you're up 1, then you're down 2, and it's just back and forth the entire game?
Well, I mean, this is a great, entertaining game, and what I'm seeing is both teams want to win, and that's what it takes. This is a game all about desire, and there's a good steal.
That was a Justin Fields type of pass. Meanwhile, that shot, no good. Decree can't hit the 3.
Again, that's not Fenwick's game. You drive it in, even Decree. Take the two-pointer if you can. Marshall was right underneath. If you can penetrate, you can dish off.
Oh, I guess just to play devil's advocate, partner, shoot the 3 so that the defenders aren't always near the baseline in the paint, because remember, Hinsdale's got the height advantage on those drives to the basket.
Well, if it goes in, it's driving a dagger into Hinsdale Central. You're up 3, you make a 3, now you're up 6 with only 4 to go. But I think you win the game by shooting 2s if you're Fenwick.
Yeah.
And then there's another 3. I don't think I'd be shooting that.
He was open, though, but I get what you're saying, Bob.
Let him be open.
Yeah, if you're Hinsdale, right, they're not that good with the
them.
3s, yeah.
Or at least Decree is missing them. Decree has to not shoot that. But they're still with the 3-point lead.
In a game like this, if Fenwick can make that a 6-point lead, it does wonders for your team. That, meanwhile, a foul committed by Hogan.
Yeah, I didn't like the call. The ref made the call from behind. I think Hogan slapped down on the ball, and that's cardinal sin. When you slap down on the ball, the referees always call a reach-in. If you slap up under the ball, the refs don't call a reach-in. Anyway, he reached in, hit the ball. The ball went off the player. I'm not sure there was a foul, but the foul was called, and it's out on the side.
Out to Orozco.
That's going to be backcourt violation. Nope, Meeks picks it up instead.
Meeks. Look at that no-look pass. It was so good his teammate wasn't ready for it. And jump ball. Oh, boy, I don't know about that. I thought the foul happened before the jump ball.
Well, I didn't see a foul. The question was going to be a jump ball or on the block shot attempt or traveling. Could have gone either way. I didn't see a foul on that, though. But 3-point lead, ball underneath. Good steal by Meeks, good pass by Meeks. Well defended by Hinsdale Central.
Inbounds play coming up over to Marshall.
4 minutes, 3-point lead. Now they have to get out of the zone defense because Marshall can just continue to dribble all day long there. They're going to stay in the zone. The traps are a good idea. We got a timeout from Fenwick to make sure they don't get trapped. So we might see, it depends on what Hinsdale Central does on defense. I think we're going to see Hinsdale Central come out with as a man-to-man defense, because if you stay in a zone, you can just salt the whole game away with 3 minutes, 40 seconds to go. So I think you're going to see them go man. So we might get some backdoor 2-point baskets to try to break that man-to-man defense. In the meantime, Fenwick wants to talk it over to see what kind of offense do they want to run. Of course, it's going to completely depend on the defense Hinsdale Central comes out with. But right now, Hinsdale Central cannot come out in any kind of a passive zone. Fenwick will just hold the ball with the lead.
.45 game as Fenwick coming out of the timeout. You're right, partner. More fans than I thought there was going to be today. Some of the parents, they're teachers and bankers, so they don't have work today. And even with it being -5, -10 Fahrenheit outside, they still decided to stop by home of the Friars for today's basketball game.
Well, they sure picked an entertaining game to be at. And, of course, there's a game right after this one right here. So some of these people might be from that game as well. But I like the students section from Hinsdale Central behind the hoop over here on the left. That's
Bounce
how you
pass.
break it. There you go.
Marshall finishes. Just like that, back up to 2 scores.
5-point lead. Now it's going to be tough for Hinsdale Central to catch up. We'll call that an ankle breaker, and he hit the 3.
Wow.
Was that Orozco?
Wow. 50-48.
The other Orozco.
Not only are they good 3-point shooters, partner, but they're left-handed shooters.
Oh, no.
He's got an open man. This will tie it up. The Thunder is finished. Bazelis. Some of the Fenwick fans said unsportsmanlike on Bazelis, but I think that was clean.
Well, I'm just glad the referees didn't call that. 50-50 at 2:45 to go. That's not the time to call a ticky-tack technical. Corner shot went in, huge.
Wow, silencing the away crowd. Good job by Orozco not forcing that. Bazelis. He still has it.
A turnover. What happened is the pass went and hit either the ref or the coach. There we go.
I think it hit the coach too, yeah.
Yeah, it must not have hit the ref, or the ref wouldn't have acted that way. So it must hit the coach and bounce back in bounds.
Yeah.
So anyway, Hogan with the ball, right with a 3-point lead. It's only 2:16 to go because of that basket from Marcoliola.
If Hogan makes the game-winning basket, he'd be the hero of the game.
Oh, no.
AKA Hogan's Heroes.
There's a foul. They're going to put Marshall at the line.
Yeah, you have to do it because Fenwick can just keep running time with no shot clock.
So it'll be taken out on the side a couple of times before they get into the bonus situation, but you got to take those fouls because you're exactly right. To take the ball out of Fenwick's hands, you got to put them at the line.
Right.
So
Remember, it's harder than you think, though, to waste clock. You still got to keep passing. You can't just hold the ball.
Well, and as predicted, Hinsdale Central is now in a man-to-man.
That's close to a double dribble, Bob.
There's
wide open, Marshall.
Again.
Well, it's almost a blessing in disguise, partner, because at least Hinsdale gets the ball back without, Fenwick wasting more time, but they still are down 2 scores. Fakes the 3, Orozco, mid-range jumper, yes!
Unbelievable pair of Orozcos on this team.
Timeout called.
Yeah, so they pulled within 3. So we had a 50-50 score. I think it was 50-45 when Hinsdale Central got a 3 and a 2 to tie it at 50s. Then Fenwick got a 3 and a 2 to go ahead 55-50 with some really clutch shooting. Now Orozco hits one to pull within 55-52. Just fantastic shooting. Now we have the stats are showing that Hinsdale Central is shooting 62% just from 2-point land, right? They're shooting 45% from 3-point land, right? Then you go over to the Fenwick side, and Fenwick is a little bit more mundane from the 2 points, with shooting just 41%, but they're shooting 43% from threes. They're actually shooting better from 3-point land than 2-point land. The problem, though, is they have a lot more turnovers. They have 12 turnovers, right, to Hinsdale Central's, what did we see, 9 turnovers.
All right, so for Hinsdale Central, they're shooting 5 of 11 from 3. From the free throw line, they've been okay. They missed a couple. For Fenwick, they're 8 of 16 from 3-point line. So we talked about Fenwick not being as good of a 3-point shooting team, but Fenwick's actually shot more threes than Hinsdale. That has to be attributed to Fenwick having more possessions than the Red Devils, but still maybe too many 3-point shot attempts from the Friars.
Well, I think the message in this game is hold on to the ball. Now they're doing, it looks like a full court man-to-man press. So get the ball in, clear out, let them take it up, and doesn't look like a very strong man-to-man full court press. So let Marshall bring it up.
Eventually they'll have to foul. Only 2 fouls committed for the Red Devils.
Well, they need to get into the bonus quick. So they got to just hack them now.
Macchiarola drives, Macchiarola up and under. Well, they get the basket.
5 points to the minute to go. Now you know Hinsdale Central is going to launch some threes.
Macchiarola from 3, that one's no good. Last touch by the Friars.
Yeah, Orozco a little bit too covered on that shot.
Well, he's been so good, even though it's a little contested, you almost want him to shoot that.
Well, 54 seconds to go. You don't have a whole lot of time. You need a couple of them.
Remember, Fenwick has not been great passing the basketball today. Baseline drive. Circus shot, no good. Now you got to foul right away.
Yeah, the refs have been letting them play.
Got a foul. Ooh, that was close to a jump ball.
They're going to call a foul on that? Number 3 reaching in.
I thought that maybe Ferguson was going to call timeout before they called a foul. A lot happening, partner. Almost had a jump ball. Ferguson almost called the timeout, and the ref said, no, it's just a foul.
Well, they need to foul a couple more times. They got to get into that bonus to put him at the line. Yep. There we go, push from behind.
So, partner, how do you foul without it being a flagrant foul?
Well, let's not push him and then he does a somersault and lands on the ground, right? And sometimes you can go up to the ref and tell him, look, I'm going to foul him when he gets the ball.
Got a foul now. Ooh, took way too much time off the clock. Orozco waited 5 seconds before he finally fouled.
Yeah, but I'm not sure Dupree is the guy you want to foul. So
right, but the clock's not your friend either.
No, 30 seconds to go, you need 5 points. So you got to put him at the line and hope he makes 1 out of 2, and you still got 2 threes you got to make. But I'm not sure you want to make it with 2 threes. I'm thinking, hopefully he misses, take it down for a 2-point layup. Then as soon as they inbound it, hack him again.
If you're Fenwick, do you let them go coast to coast and let them waste time?
Well, you let them go coast to coast, but you try to slow it down. You stay in between the player and the basket. You don't just let them, sprint 5 seconds. Yeah, you slow it down.
You're up the middle and force them to go right or left of you to waste more time.
Right. And sometimes teams will press here to eat up, like this. Fenwick's doing a great job. They're pressing to use more time and, in fact, fouling them. I don't think the coach wanted that. Looks like the coach did not want that, judging by his reaction, yelling at his player Dupree.
I understand why Ferguson's not happy because that does stop the clock. But you also don't want to get them a pull-up 3 either. So if you don't have the help rotation-wise for the pull-up 3, it's not a terrible idea to foul there.
Long 3 here.
And that'll do it.
Okay, back to a 5-point lead and a timeout from Hinsdale Central with 18 seconds to go.
We'll take a quick timeout as well. You're watching the Friars against the Red Devils here on SBS. Never mind. We're going to stick with the action. 59-54.
Oh, good. Okay, so Fenwick's going to take the ball out, right? So Hinsdale Central, what they're going to do is foul him instantly, put him back on the line, and try to get, 3 more times in that 18 seconds runs down the court to get a 2 or a 3-point shot. If Hinsdale Central, all they really got to do, Fenwick, all they really got to do is get the ball in, hold it, and get hacked. But don't let it go to Decree. He's a good free throw shooter. Let it go to somebody else. Hinsdale Central can kind of pick who they want to put at the free throw line, by leaving that player open.
59-54. All Fenwick has to do is get the ball in. They've got 2 timeouts left, so you don't need to force it if it's not there. Just call the timeout. Whatever you do not commit a 5-second violation. Get the ball in or call the timeout. There you go.
Decree with the ball, and then he threw it out of bounds. It's a break for Hinsdale Central, down 5 with 15.8. So you get a 2 or a 3 here, make it a 1-possession game. You're still going to have to hack them when they get the ball in.
Right. That's the one thing you can't do is turn the ball over. Even if they steal it from you, just foul them because you've only committed 2 fouls thus far.
I like that they're putting in Meeks in for Decree. Decree's going to throw the ball out of bounds. He comes out. Meeks goes in for him. It's a good call by the coach right there. Take out the player that threw the ball away with 15.8 seconds to go, no matter who it is. And then Hinsdale Central threw it away.
Out of bounds. Intended target was Bazelis.
Yeah, they were trying to run a timing play. I get it. It was going to be a lob to the far side of the hoop after a couple of screens, but the pass was just too far. Same strategy, though. You still got to hack them instantly when the ball comes in. Meeks going out.
Yep, they're going to substitute Manley in, and taking a seat is Caleb Burgens, the 6-foot guard.
So we have a different inbounder bounding the ball in.
Orozco with 18, Bazelis with 16, Marshall with 22. And Macchiarola, who struggled in the first half, was fabulous in the second half.
What was your prediction? 59-55?
Yeah. Who says I don't know my basketball?
That's right. We're going to have to put you on for the Crystal Ball of the Year award.
Macchiarola taking his time and forcing the foul.
So you projected 59-55. The score is 59-54, but we got the wrong team at the line.
And remember, Fenwick's only committed 2 fouls. They can just keep fouling Hinsdale Central instead of allowing them to shoot pull-up threes.
Well, I think, just saying, I think that's what Decree was kind of thinking. They were pressing. They wanted to slow them up, bringing the ball up, and fouling and putting the ball out on the side isn't entirely that bad of a call.
Right.
It's obviously not what the coach wanted to be done, though. I mean, it might be smart, not smart, right, whatever, but you got to follow the leader, and the leader says don't do that.
We're just telling the audience what Decree was probably thinking when he fouled him. He doesn't want the clock to stop, but you got these fouls. You don't get extra credit for keeping the fouls after the game's over, so might as well use them, right? 61-54. It's all over but the cry, and Fenwick's going to win. As Orozco fakes the 3. 3 seconds left. That jumper's no good. Rebounded by Marshall, and Fenwick pulls off a very important win on the season. Marshall gets rim blocked after the game's over. Hinsdale Central fought hard, but the 3-point shooting from Macchiarola was just too tough for Hinsdale Central to come back from.
Well, I mean, yes, he was fantastic. He had scored, 18 points, we see? And, of course, Marshall being just a dog everywhere on the court, getting the rebounds, taking it in down low, taking the ball up high, defensively stopping Barcelos. I mean, what a great game played by Marshall and, of course, Macchiarola.
All right, so we're going to get our post-game interview. Meanwhile, St. Patrick and Maine East coming up next here on SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone. Yeah.
This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Good, looking sharp